Brad Gray joins us on the phone to discuss the meeting at Randwick. And Brad, at this time of the year, it's all about the Bondi, and they've created a race and made it $1 million worth.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning to you, Jason. The first running of the $1 million Bondi Stakes. I think a few people out there have been a little bit cynical of the strength of the field for a $1 million race. It is in its first year, so it can only build from here. And we have got a couple of interesting runners in the field. You've got your Kubricks, your Just Thinkers, and then, of course, the Stan Fox form. The runner that I'm with is Kubrick up the top there. Now, a lot of people are going to look at that last run in the Caulfield Guineas, the Group 1, and think, well, how can he bounce back off that? He's run close to the last. He did first. He was trapped all wide the trip, actually pulled up with a slow recovery as well. The replay you can see here is his run in the Golden Rose prior to that. Although he was well beaten, 3.5 lengths, it was only 3.5 lengths away from Bivouac. Of course, Yes has come out and won the Everest. We know Exceedance is a top-quality colt himself, so the form out of this is really solid. And if he reproduces anything like this Golden Rose run, although beaten away, I think he's got a fair bit on this particular field. Looking at the races they come out of, the blinkers go on for the first time and drawn one. I think he just tucks in what looks to be a pretty good speed with Just Thinking and Collada rolling along. So it's one of those rocks or diamonds kind of punts. I am keen on him at the odds because I think it allows you to take that gamble. But he's either going to win and win well, or he's probably going to finish closer to the tail. But as I say, at the price, I'm happy to take that punt.
I think there'll be plenty of connections in New Zealand wondering whether they could consider a race like the Bondi in the future, given the $1 million stakes. But I suppose we've got our Guineas races here, and we've got a $1 million race of our own in January, the Karaka Classic for 3-year-olds. So, well served the 3-year-olds. I'd love to have a runner in the race. How about your thoughts on race number 5?
Yeah, race 5 is the Niverson, Group 3 for the mares. It's an interesting little field, as you often find with the mares. I am with the favourite and pretty keen on a Real-A-Min Ruby. She's an unassuming kind of mare. She's extremely consistent. And where she draws here, I think she gets absolutely every possible in the run. There's a little bit of speed with ready to profit, probably Spanish Dream carving across. I don't think they'll go too hard. I was watching her replay here first up, I believe, and she was a bit unlucky not to win. She was just held up there momentarily. The stablemate had all the momentum down the outside. Senior Fox, and you look back in fifth. Equally unlucky runner was Handle the Truth, and Handle the Truth came out and won the Kosciuszko in really good style. So I think there's a bit of depth to the race. This isn't her first crack in Group Company, but she's always promised that she was going to be up to it. She's just got that lovely, consistent record. She's had 8 starts, 3 wins, and has never been outside the money. So I think she can only keep getting better and better. And possibly next year she'll be one of those mares that knocks around in Group 1 company. So I think we can follow her on the way through, and she's just incredibly consistent. So the way this track sets up, I didn't touch on it on the top there, but the rail's at 8 metres. It's a really firm deck because we've had a couple of really scorching days in Sydney. So when that tends to happen at Randwick, it's certainly no disadvantage to be on the speed because they generally run time. So this girl will find herself probably on the fence one pair back, and with plays like that at Randwick, I think she'll be really hard to beat.
Do you have other runners to make up a betting strategy for the day?
Yeah, there's a couple of others there. Race 3, Diamond Thunder. This is Ferretti's race. I think he's short enough. He's a nice horse, but Diamond Thunder comes back, and you look at his last start effort before he went for a spell, and he beat California Zimble, who freaked that form in a big way. I think he's a nice horse, although be it first up, I think he's hard to beat. And race 4, Improvement. Looks a 2-horse race to me between her and the favourite, Grey Worm. I think they'll just dominate from on speed and should fight it out. So at the price difference, I'm happy to lean away Improvement.
Great stuff, Brad Gray there, Racing New South Wales form analyst with his best bet Kubrick in the Bondi. Incidentally, that's the second leg of the turbo terminating quaddie over a couple of races at Moonee Valley and also 2 races at Randwick. The first race is at 10 minutes past 6, and that's the Crystal Mile. It features Madison County.